I know I've been gone for a little while. I'll be taking breaks because I don't know, I just always go through like a phase of spiritual warfare, and not even that. I work a lot and I'm always like tired. But I had did a fast and I gained some energy from the fast and actually lost some weight and everything. So I'm like feeling way better, not so sluggish and tired like I usually be. And during that fast, I had a dream the night before I had the fast, started the fast. And the dream was about, all the details of the dream is not, I don't remember them, but I remember some of the details, and some of the details were, we cut the grass at a house, and the grass that was cut had like just turned into some beautiful hardwood floors. And it was some other little details about the house, but I don't remember what they were. I just remembered that there were details about the house. And it was a guy that came, and I think that we realized that we liked each other. So with this, God has been showing me a lot of things about, like when I have dreams, they're very prophetic, but they kind of come quickly. Like as soon as I have the dream, whatever I had to dream about and God is trying to tell me usually happens like within a week or maybe 4 weeks. Like it happens very fast. It used to be like 2 years, but I don't know, like now it's just like rapidly coming through. So I woke up yesterday morning and I was like, well, what did that dream mean? I just kept asking God because I'm like, that's really strange. And I'm like, so why would nice freshly cut grass, the grass looked very healthy, turn into hardwood floors, even though they were nice? I thought like, well, wood is like dead. It's not a living organism anymore. But grass is like healthy and living, and even though it's cut, it can still grow. So, and I might be missing some other things that God is telling me with that dream, but I'm gonna just tell you what happened yesterday so I can show you how quickly my dreams tell me things. So I was like, so okay, the wood is dead, grass is living, and I don't know how I got to the word. I was like just going about my day yesterday and the word decay came to me, like decompose, like decay. So I looked it up and the definition says something on the lines of to rot or decompose. But when I look down at the words on like Google, it says similar. So it'll give you what words that are similar to the word decay. It said corruption. And I just saw it again because I looked it up again and said hose. So yesterday I'm washing clothes. I'm just preparing my house. I've been getting so many prophetic words on YouTube saying like prepare your house, prepare your house. So I've been trying to clean and organize and get my house prepared. Because I know what God is telling me is about to happen as far as my home. So I'm just getting in preparation. And as I was doing that, I was washing different loads of clothes. I had like a lot of clothes to wash or whatever, because me and my kids have so many clothes. It was like I can go forever without washing clothes, but I'm like, let me just wash all these clothes, get them out the way, get them put up, and I could see like what we don't want anymore, donate them, so forth. So as I'm in the basement, I smelled a little bit of gas. So I'm like, okay, I know my mom always taught me, and this is the importance of really listening to people speak. And especially as a child, I was very nosy. I would sit in front of all the adults and listen to all their conversations. But it made me wise ahead of times. Like I was more wise than a lot of the people that were around me my age, because I was ear hustling on adults' conversations. So fast forward, I heard my mom and a lot of people say like, oh, you don't play when you smell gas. You don't play when you smell gas. And then as I got older and started renting my own properties, I was always told about the hot water tank, like don't ever try to light it yourself. It could be a gas leak and it could blow up, all these things. And then like when you call to pay your gas bill, it says before it gets to any other thing, the first thing it says is, if you smell a gas leak or if it's an emergency or you have an explosion, say emergency. It don't say call 911 or anything. It just say emergency. So I'm like, oh my God, like, okay, so I know all of these things, so I need to call the gas company. I remembered that because I meant the first time when I smelled the gas. It was kind of faint. But when I went back downstairs, like by my second load, or was it my third load, I smelled gas so crazy. And mind you, I'm fasting. So all day, during my fast, it was just a liquid fast. I didn't just do only water. I was still drinking like coffee. I drank pop. I drank a lot of water. Oh, and I drank a cold pressed juice. So I have all these liquids and stuff, but I have like a burst of energy. That's what made me help me get through the day. But as I'm smelling the gas the second time, I'm like getting really, really, really lightheaded. Like, oh my God, I'm about to pass out. I'm like, and then the gas got louder. So I started freaking out. So I went upstairs and I sat down and I'm like, I'm so tired. I want to finish what I'm doing because I was working from home last night. And I'm like, I need to finish what I'm doing. And I was like, I can't play with gas. Like, I just kept hearing adults in my childhood say, don't play with gas, don't play with gas, don't play with gas. And I was like, oh my God, I know I need to call the gas company. So I'm just like, freak it. I'm going to call my mom because the house I live in was just my mom's. And when she moved out, I stayed because I was staying with my mom for a second. And I kept the house. So I was like, I'm going to call my mom. And then I was like, I told her what was going on. And she was like, oh yeah, I smelled gas a long time ago. They came out and it was like nothing. They didn't find anything. I'm like, well, I smelled gas pretty loud. And, I had called a gas company before I called my mother. So they sent somebody out within an hour. They were literally at my house in like 10, 15 minutes. Then I called my mom, sorry. So then I told her, I said to have the gas company come out. So she was like, yeah, I smelled gas before. I didn't think nothing of it. Well, and they said that and I'm like, well, they got meters with this little nose detecting around. And I kept asking the guy, like, do that work? He was like, yeah, we get them calibrated every day and so forth. Meaning like they get them tested every day. And I was like, okay, I feel a little better, but I still don't trust no device. I'm like, he had a mask on, of course, because of COVID. And I'm like, can you, I wanted him to be like, I wanted to be telling him like, can you take your mask off so you can smell around or whatever? But he really trusted the device. He did not take his mask off. And I was just like freaking out. So I just was like, I snapped out of it like, God, you got this. You know what I'm saying? Because you even put it on me to call the gas company. You let me catch it. So it's in your hands. I'm doing a fast. You know what I'm saying? So you had me to fast. And I am so stubborn when it comes to fast. I just kept, when I laid in my bed last night, I just couldn't believe that a lot of times when God would tell me to fast, I would break my fast too soon or I wouldn't do it. And it's just funny that the first time I fasted in so long, he spoke this thing to me. So the decomposition was of the pipes in my house. But not when God gives me dreams, he doesn't just give me a dream about one thing. He tells me like maybe 2 or maybe 3 things. Like it comes to me over time. So the second thing he was talking to me about was, and it was a gas leak in my house. So they shut the gas off. And the landlord of the house has to come out and replace the pipes. But I feel like I don't feel like God saved my life. He saved me and my children's life, like really. And yesterday, I have an older son and he was babysitting my son and my niece yesterday. And my sister is up here from out of town and I made a mistake and ended the video, but yeah, so my sister's up here from out of town and she was in my house like resting and my son was like watching over the kids, but I kept thinking to myself like they could have died. I was at work yesterday, like it could have been an explosion. They could have flicked the light switch or anything they could have. I have an electric stove, but any type of appliance or anything like that can cause an explosion. So I have to go back. I had this vision and I wasn't sure if it was like God talking to me because I didn't have visions before. Like I think I was always having them my whole life. I just didn't know that they were visions. I'm gonna say that. Like I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. I thought I was like manifesting things by just thinking of it. Like, oh, this can happen. And then it just happens like that. But no, God was showing me what's going to happen, and then it happens. That was what's going on. So I had a dream about a huge explosion, but it was like I had two different visions of this while I'm awake. Like I saw them. One was an explosion from the ground that came up like a erupting volcano, but it was really a explosion. When I saw it, I'm like, that's a gas explosion. I said that to myself. This was like a month ago. Then I had a vision like maybe a few months ago, and I saw like a missile thing. I wrote this in my journal. A missile being launched, and it fell and it exploded. So now I saw like in the newspapers and things like that about not the newspapers but on the blogs about China launching some missile, and I didn't follow the story to see what happened, but somebody had came to me, one of my clients was like, oh, did you see that did my client tell me that? I think my client told me that the missile had fell in the ocean or something like that. I'm like, me, I like to go fact check if it really speaks to me, but I feel like in my spirit, God was like, it's gone, it's whatever. So the explosion from the ground, it's just funny to me because prayer really works. And I know like a lot of prophetic people know things that are to come, and we go into heavy worship and we pray and we fast and things like that. So these things don't, if they're bad, negative, they don't come to pass. So I always pray for the world. I pray for our government, things like that when I go to sleep. And I feel like I'm seeing these things of what can happen, but then I see the aftermath of them not making it, like not happening. And those two explosions, they just shut like the gas line down in the southern parts of United States. So I feel like they caught it before it happened. Like it could have led to an explosion. The missile from China could have led to an explosion. But I'm just on here to tell you guys how prayer really works to stop something, because I saw that explosion in my vision, but it could have been my house as well. I probably saw me and my children blown up from the ground up because it was in my basement. You know what I'm saying? So like my visions and my dreams tell me two different things, because my dream also was telling me about the gas, like in the southern states. Like I still don't know how the decompose word, because God, I just heard that yesterday, like decompose, but how it's associated with the gas pipelines in the south. But the gas in my house and the gas in the south is like, I was receiving a word about gas and pipelines and things like that. And one of the words under decay, look it up on Google, it says similar words, it says corruption. So there's a corruption happening that's causing these things to happen. And as I'm watching, I watch a lot of the blogs, I read a lot of the blogs, and I see a lot of things that other people are not paying attention to. And there is some things coming out that looks like it's part of corruption. So I just encourage you guys to pray, ask God to show you things that you need to know about, because I've always been afraid to come on here and tell people like, oh, I'm prophetic, I have dreams, this is my dream memes, because I don't always read the word every single day. So I see a lot of prophetic people, prophets on YouTube, associate their dreams with the word. But I literally, and I guess it's just to confirm things, but God nudges me to just get on here and speak about my dreams a lot of times, and I just never did it. So I just want to walk in obedience and do that. So a lot of times you might see me get on here and just tell my dreams and what I feel like is going to come to pass. Okay, I was interrupted by a phone call, but I know I take that as the sign when God wants me to just wrap it up. So I just wanted to get on here and say what I just told you guys, and pay attention to your dreams, write them down. I'm not really good at writing my dreams down. I had got away from it, but my sister was writing on a piece of mail yesterday, and the book that she was using to write on the letter was my dream notebook. And I was like, Lord, I done left it in the living room. I don't even leave that around for people to read, but she was writing on it and didn't even realize that that's what it was. But I know that God is telling me, like, write your dreams down. I saw a prophetic word that said that yesterday too. Like, write your dreams down. So I love y'all, and keep paying attention. Ask God what's happening. Keep praying for our country, because a lot of things are going to happen, and they don't have to come to pass in a negative way. If you just keep praying and fasting and reading the word of God and hearing what God is saying, we all can be on the accord to what he's telling us that's going to happen. And I know he's revealing it to us before time so that we can pray. So I love y'all and have a good day. I forgot to say this. So in my dreams, I had quite a few dreams where there was a man present. Some of the men I knew, some of the men I didn't. Some of them I end up seeing like the next day. Like I told you guys, I dream about it and I see him. So the guy, when I just told you about the pipeline dream, he didn't flirt with me. I didn't flirt with him, but we knew that it was like something, I guess. And I'm like, why do I keep having dreams about me liking a guy or a guy flirting with me, or I'm liking a guy or something, lusting after him? And God is telling me that I have a problem with lust. That's what he's showing me. And when I'm out and about, because I'm like waiting on my kingdom spouse and things like that, if God is willing to, allow me to be married in this lifetime, I do look at different men and be like, oh, I wonder is that him? Or I wonder is he going to say something to me? Like we as women, I'm sure men do it too, but I do that. But God is telling me that is lust. So I'm happy he brought this to my attention, because when I do it, I instantly conflict myself. Like, girl, get over yourself. Like, like I just laugh it off or whatever. It's like something funny that I think about that God knows my thoughts about. And I just wanted to say, like, I struggle with lust, but it's like not lust as in trying to be super noticed or nothing like that. Or I'm not aggressive. I don't say anything to men or anything like that. I wouldn't. But it's just me looking at them, thinking the things I'd be like, oh, I wonder if he's going to say something to me. Like, it's just funny. Like, and I don't even just think it's just lust. And that's a sin. It could be another sin, but I don't have to ask God about it. But he's definitely highlighting. And in dreams, it's innocent, So he's like showing me, like, it's an innocent thing you're doing, what you think is innocent, but it's really a sin. It's lust. Like, I showed you things about your spouse. You should already know who your spouse is. And this is how I feel like God is telling me. Like, I pretty much know who he is and what he looks like, his physique, everything. And these guys don't even look like him. And even like in the beginning, when he first was showing me things about my spouse, guys would try to talk to me, and I felt like it was a temptation of the enemy. So the devil was tempting me with a lot of these guys, and like once or twice I had gave a guy my number, and they both turned out to be horrible. Like, one of them is like borderline stalkerish, and he was talking to one of my cousins, and he was talking to my sister. So I was like, oh, this man is crazy. Like, and then he just was crazy. I'm sorry. Like, he just was. And then another guy, the first day we exchanged numbers, he asked me out. I was like not into dating him on the first day, which is weird. Like, I would rather get to know you, talk to you on the phone, feel you out, feel your spirit, all that stuff before I go on a date with you. So I had another engagement to go to, and I told him, like, you could stop up at the restaurant we would be at, because I was going to just go sit at the bar with him, but I felt safe knowing my family would be on the other side. So I told my aunt about him, and then it was weird because he sent me photos of himself, and I thought that was so strange. Like, I don't even know you sending me pictures of you. That was so weird to me. So my aunt, she was like, do you have a picture of him? And I said, that's funny you asked, because yes, I do. So I showed her the picture. She said, you're not going to, her whole demeanor changed. And she just prophesied it to me that morning while I was doing her hair. Like, you're going to meet your husband. He's not going to be like the other guys you ever dated in life. He's going to be better. He's going to be well established and all these things. So this guy was telling me that in the messages, like boosting himself up. And the red flag first was, I don't like stuff like that. I don't like when you just tell me how much money you got in your bank account, what you own, like just bragging basically, but making it look like you just trying to tell me that you're established. So I showed my auntie the picture, and she was like, this is my ex from when I was young, like basically like a teenager. And she was like, you're not going on a date with him. But I realized, like, Brittany, just like be patient. Like, you know, and this is the reason why God shows us things about our spouses, because instantly when you meet someone else that's not him, you're gonna know in the spirit. Like, I knew when he walked up to me, he wasn't him. I knew instantly. Then the conversation we had in the parking lot when we met, it was very brief, but the first question I asked him was he married, or do he have a girlfriend? He said, no. Why would I even approach you if I did? I said, and that's because my spirit knew he was. My spirit knew he was married, and he was. So not only did he date my aunt, he was married. And then he posted his wife on Facebook like 3 days later. My aunt sent me it. So I'm like, I just have to practice patience. And I know that God been showing me that for the last year. And I just need to be patient. And he's supposed to find me. That's the biggest thing. Like, ladies, he's supposed to find you. He who finds a wife. He who finds a wife. So he's looking for us. But the thing is that what God do, he helps us to get to the point to where Christ shines through us. So when our godly ordained spouse finds us, we know it's him because Christ will shine through him, and he'll recognize us because Christ will shine through us. So it would be like a body of Christ connection, like, but more so a spousal connection. Like, you're gonna know him as if you knew him before, I guess. That's how I feel about that. But he was showing me, because of the same dream with the pipeline, the gas man came last night. He was very tall and handsome, but it was like a test for me to learn how to stop being so lustful or things like that. So I didn't know what he would look like. I had a feeling like, you know, typically maintenance men are men. It was a woman with them as well, but I just thought that. So I put on this over large hoodie last night, you know, just to like cover up my body shape and things like that. I had on like leggings and a longer shirt, but the shirt was so thin you could literally see the shape of my body. So I put on an oversized sweatshirt, and I did not put my wig on or nothing. I had like a bonnet on. I was like, I'm not even gonna like get myself together. I'm just gonna not care. Like, I don't want to be. I see a lot of people get dressed every single day to attract other people, but what you put on the outside doesn't cover up who you are on the inside. So you have to work on the inside first, and that could overshine anything you look like. You know, like, it would, like, you ever fell in love with somebody's heart and it just wasn't that attractive looks wise. So God is like showing me also probably to look at the heart more, you know, like, not looks, because the devil will show up as your knight in shining armor, tall, dark, and handsome, and your husband may not look nothing like that, but the heart looks like Christ. So I just wanted to I had to finish this video, because when I got off, he said that to me, like, no, Brittany, you missed out the part where you were, like, I'm showing you that you sin with lust every day. So yes, if you are trying to position yourself for a guy to speak to you or talk to you or exchange numbers for you, it kind of is desperate if you think about it, you know, even though, like, you're not tooting your body out or, you know, dropping something on the ground, or, I don't know, being a damsel in distress or anything like that. Like, even though you're not doing those things, just looking at them and hoping in your mind that they will say something to you is still lust. So I don't know if it's like a confident thing for me. Like, I just need the confidence to know somebody tried to talk to me. So I remember thinking like that. Like, dang, nobody ever says anything to me. I look crazy every day. Maybe that's why. But your spouse, he's going to know. He's going to know. No matter what you look like, I'm sure. So that was the word. Continue to have a blessed day. Thank you for watching.